Hi, my name is Lexi Jong and welcome to my channel. Today we are talking about some new items from Suqqu, and I purchased these items from Selfridges. If you do not already purchase things from Selfridges but you're interested in some products that they carry such as Sisley or Suqqu or Dior, a lot of those brands actually, well, Suqqu we can't get here. So that one you would need to purchase from Selfridges or Harrods or something like that. Or Credo Beauty, which now has Suqqu as well. However, Sisley and Dior and so forth, they do have less expensive prices than our US pricing. So if you're in the US and you haven't looked into Selfridges, you might want to check that out because they do a $55 global shipping free for 1 year. So what that means is you pay the $55 fee once, and for an entire year, all of your items that you purchase are free shipping and there's no minimum. So if you realize you forgot something and you just want to pick up like an eyeliner or something, you don't have to reach a minimum spending amount. You get your free shipping. It comes very quickly. I usually get my packages in 2 to 3 days. Now, I don't mean for that to sound like a commercial for Selfridges. This is not sponsored, of course, or anything like that. But I did want to let you know that since I've been using it the last few months, I have definitely saved more than the $55 that I spent on shipping just purchasing some of those products that are a little bit more expensive here in the US. And then of course you have the advantage of being able to get certain things like Suqqu products that are not available here for US customers. Suqqu just recently released a few new items. One of them is a cream foundation called the Cream Foundation, and I really wanted to try that, but unfortunately the 2 lightest shades were unavailable for shipping to the US when it was released. So I'll have to wait on that. I did pick up the new concealer from them, and I also picked up 4 of the new liquid lipsticks that they released. So they released a line of liquid lipsticks in 2 formulas. There is the Glow formula, which is a bit shinier, and then there's also the Fog formula, which is more of a satin matte finish. In addition, I also picked up one additional Suqqu item, and that is one of the blushes in the single compacts. So I purchased this shade, which is number 4, and I'm going to be testing this out to compare the formula to that of the blushes in the cheek palette that I have. And I love the cheek palette, but I have heard that the formula in this is even nicer and blends a little bit more smoothly. So I do want to compare that. That will be a future video. Now the concealer I'm also testing out right now, and I'm not ready to give any comments or anything on that, but I just wanted to let you know I purchased the lightest shade in that, and color-wise it's pretty similar to the Clé de Peau stick concealer, which is a little bit yellower and a little bit deeper than I would personally prefer. So if you have skin coloring like mine, it might not be an ideal concealer for you. So we'll see. I have gotten the color to work. I'm actually wearing it now. So, I will have thoughts on that in an upcoming video as well. Now on to the liquid lipsticks. Now the liquid lipsticks, they come in a container like this. And as I mentioned, we have 2 different formulas. There's the Fog formula and the Glow formula. And at this time, the only lip products I've had from Suqqu are 2 of the moisture rich lipsticks, which I just recently purchased, and I absolutely love them. They come in a very similar container to this one. So you've got the shiny black, you've got the gold indent where it opens, and then you have a like a mirror finish top. So you can actually use this as a little mirror to see your lips. Now the Fog formula actually comes in a matte version of this package. So you've got the matte black finish here, you've got more of a frosted look down here. This is plastic, by the way. And this top is really just going to be like a brushed gold. So you cannot use the top for a mirror. So all this time I thought, they were putting a mirror on the top to help you, but I guess it is actually just a decorative piece. But I like how they have the different packaging for the Glow versus the matte, so you can easily tell which formula it is you're picking up. So I thought that was a really nice touch. A little bit about the product. They do each come packaged in one of these like plasticized cardboard boxes. They're made in Japan and they are 0.23 ounces or 6.6 grams. Application directions for this, they say to open it up, and this is from the Suqqu website, and you actually want to stir using the applicator. So you just kind of stir it around and then you apply from the middle and out. So we're going to do some arm swatches and some lip swatches. And I'm going to give you like a distance and an up close lip shot. And I would love to get some feedback and let me know whether you find the up close shots, you know, helpful, or if I should just skip those in the future. So just trying something out to see if maybe it helps with color selection a little bit more. We're gonna start off with the Fog formula, and I picked up 2 of the Fog and 2 of the Glow formula. So this is number 2 in the Fog, and they do have Japanese names associated with the numbers. I don't want to try to pronounce them because it is not going to be good for me. I already know I'm not really sure how to say them, and I would really hate to say it improperly. So this is number 2 in the Fog formula, and you can see that this one here, it's not going to be a flat matte. Actually, I have already worn this. I have a 5.5 hour wear test where you can see what it looks like after 5.5 hours. Or I guess I wouldn't say wear test, an update, a 5.5 hour update. And you can see what it looks like. This never dries down completely. It's very comfortable on the lips, and you end up with just a bit of, you know, it's more of a matte base with a sheen on top. So you still have that creamy texture to your lips at all times. And this other shade that I picked up in the Fog formula is shade number 6. And this was described as like a nude beige. And to me, it's, you know, pretty, it's a beigey caramel shade. In the Glow formula, I picked up shades 2 and 3. And 2 is what I have on my lips right now. And this is going to be a red with some gold shimmer in there. So I'm not sure if you can pick that up well. Now, these 2 reds between the Fog and the Glow formula are different. This one here, I hope you can see, you know, there's a lot more pink here. I'm gonna put the Glow just a little bit right here so you can kind of see the difference. And you can see that this is going to be a lot more red than the Fog formula, which has a much deeper pink base. Now, this Glow formula in number 2, it also has a pink base, but it's really pretty neutral with just the slightest leaning towards cool, whereas in the Fog formula, it's definitely much cooler toned. The other shade that I picked up is going to be shade number 3, and this is a coral shade. And this one's going to be different than the Glow formula for the red here. So the difference here is that number 2 has shimmer in it, and this is really more of an opaque cream finish. So it's going to have a satin finish, but it's an opaque cream. So these are the swatches. So right here we have Fog in 02, Fog in 06, Glow in 02, and Glow in 03. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the lip swatches, and then we'll go ahead, I'll give you the 5.5 hour update, and we'll meet back here to discuss the formula and my thoughts so far. This is Fog in 02 with 1 layer. I'm gonna make it a little deeper for you. And this is Fog in 02. And I'll bring you in closer for a close-up. This is Fog in 02 with 2 coats. And I apologize, the application's not perfect, but this is pretty much how it wears. It does not dry down to a true matte. So as I mentioned, you really have this sheen for the majority of your wear time. This is 1 coat of Fog 06. Kind of make it a little deeper. And here are 2 coats of Fog 06. This is Fog 06 up close. We are now looking at Glow 02. This is 1 coat. This is 2 coats of Glow 02. And I just wanted to note, this is the one with shimmer. With 1 coat, I don't really notice any gritty texture. It's pretty minimal, but with 2 coats, when you are rubbing your lips together during application, it's definitely noticeable. If I focus on it now when I rub my lips together, I can feel the grittiness, but it's definitely noticeable during application. So just something to mention. 2 coats of Glow 02. This is Glow 03, and you can see that it's very opaque. This is just 1 layer. And honestly, with this shade, you don't need a second layer. It's opaque enough already. But just to show you, it's not really gonna get much darker. It's kind of like, you know, nail polish, you know, a 1 coater versus a 2 coater, or a 2 coater versus a 3 coater. This one really, you're good to go with just 1 coat. And here is Glow 03 up close. It has been 5.5 hours now since I applied the Fog formula in 02. I wanted to show you how it has worn. Now you can see that it has kind of migrated to the outer boundaries of my lips. So it hasn't actually gone onto the skin, but it's kind of just about there. So I would recommend using a lip liner with this. And I do have some fading here. Overall, the color has faded quite a bit. I don't have a lot of slip left to my lips, but I still have some. So there's a very thin layer there. At this moment, it feels more like a traditional matte lipstick, not one of the drying ones, but like just the texture on your lips. So I don't feel like my lips themselves are dried out, but the actual texture on my lips is now getting more of that powdery matte type of finish to them. And this is what the color looks like. I'm gonna move you in closer just so you can see a close-up of the wear. This is what the lipstick looks like after 5.5 hours. And this is after, you know, eating and drinking and stuff throughout the day. So here we go. You can see it's got this darker line here. That's not a lip liner or anything. That is the actual product. And it has definitely faded in the areas that have gotten used most. So that's it. I hope that was helpful. Now on my lips, I have the Glow 02, and I am testing this one out for longevity. So I will have a note down in the description box about how long this lasts on my lips. And this time I paired it with a lip pencil, and I used the shade Major Red from Pat McGrath, which seems to be a pretty good match for this particular shade. Let's go ahead and discuss the formula for these lipsticks. Now, they are a liquid lipstick, they are not a gloss, and they are not a lip oil. However, that being said, they both share some qualities with each. Now, the Fog formula, as mentioned on Suqqu's website, to give you more of that matte finish, there is a higher proportion of film in the actual product that provides that matte finish to it, or that matte under that base to it. And the Glow formula, in contrast, has more oil in the product. And with the higher concentration of oil, the Glow actually feels a little bit thinner on my lips, and it does feel more reminiscent of a liquid lipstick mixed with a lip oil. Now, one of the things I'd like to mention about all of these is that they stay creamy on the lips and they stay very comfortable. I have not worn these for days or anything yet, so I'm still testing them out to see whether or not there are any long-term effects on my lips. However, I have not noticed any drying of my lips through my wear so far. And again, I have worn these just for about a total of 6 hours. So, it's not super long-term yet. The formula itself feels very nice and comfortable on the lips. And one thing I'd like to note is that there's no discernible scent to these. So I used to have tons of the Yves Saint Laurent vinyl lip stains and all the different variations of that product they had. Back when I was teaching, I would wear those frequently because they were very long lasting, yet still felt creamy on the lips. These have a very, very similar texture on the lips, in my opinion. And I don't have any of them anymore to compare those to, but that's the first thing that came to my mind is just that texture you have. Although these are slightly creamier than I recall the Yves Saint Laurent ones being. I feel like those dried down a little bit more than these do. One of the things I noticed about the Yves Saint Laurent, every time I used them, I would get this strong alcohol scent to them. And it was a little off-putting, but I dealt with it because, they were a great product. I really enjoyed them at the time. And this reminds me of that in all of the good ways, but it has removed some of the negatives that I associate with that product, such as, some of the shades in that for me were a little bit drying. Not all of them were, but some of them I did notice drying, and that alcohol scent for me was a negative detractor. And again, I don't know if newer formulas of that product are better. These are just the ones that I wore when they first launched those. I basically purchased all of them. So those were a staple for me for a few years back when that product first came out. Now, if we look at the actual swatches, I've left these on. These have been on for about 20 minutes now, so you can kind of see what happens to the finish. This is what the fog in 02 looks like after you've worn it for a while. It kind of fades down, but it's not dry to the touch. You can see I'm still, I'm tapping very lightly, but I still have transfer. So these are not transfer proof, but they are long wearing in the sense that the color's really gonna remain on your lips for a long time. And that creamy feeling really does remain. So they definitely last longer than a traditional lipstick in my experience, which for me, I would say a traditional lipstick in a satin formula is usually going to be about 4 hours. And even with those creamier mattes, I'd say it's around there as well, sometimes a little bit longer. And I feel like this extends that, probably about maybe half an hour to an hour or two, depending on the formula. So I think overall, they're a really nice product. Just going through these swatches, the Fog 02, this is going to be a red with a pink base. So I haven't had any issues with it turning pink on my lips like some shades do. So just something to note, it is cooler tone. And then we have this beige caramel shade, which is number 6. And I like it. I wasn't sure if I would or not. The shade that I originally wanted was this really cool grayish purple shade, but it sold out while I was checking out. And then we have the Glow 02, which is red with gold shimmer. And then last but not least, we have Glow 03, which is a coral in more of an opaque cream style. Now, for me, I love the look of these reds, and I really like the longevity and how they feel on my lips. When I first put on Fog 02, the first thing it reminded me of is a cooler version of this red moisture lipstick that came out with the Autumn Winter collection. So this is number 118. And I just want to swatch this right here so you can kind of see. They both have the gold shimmer in it, although I do notice more grittiness in the liquid version versus the Moisture Rich lipstick. But they both have a very similar effect on the lips. The liquid lipstick's going to be a little bit glossier looking, and it, is cooler toned. So you can see that this one here is definitely more of an orangier red compared to this, which is pretty neutral but slightly pink. As I mentioned before, the Glow formula has a higher proportion of oil. compared to the Fog, which has a higher proportion of film in it. However, both of them have this very similar creamy liquid vinyl feel to your lips, and I think that's very comfortable. Now with the Glow formula, as I mentioned during the lip swatches, the coral one is really just like a one coat and you're done. And the red one, I actually think it feels better to have two coats. You do have some initial grittiness from the shimmer, but after a few minutes of wear, it kind of melts away. I don't really feel it on my lips anymore. But the first couple minutes or so after application, you can still feel it before it kind of sinks in. Now, what I wanted to mention is I actually think that the Glow 02, the red one I have on now, does better with two coats because it does feel thinner on the lips when you first apply it. And I would say it actually feels a little thinner than the 03 Coral version does. So just a few differences there, and that might be because of the presence of the shimmer, but it definitely feels like a slightly thinner formula. So two coats of 02 feels like one coat of 03 in the Glow formula for these particular shades. Just a note about application, I would personally recommend using a lip pencil with these. It's not necessary. As you saw with the wear update, the product didn't actually migrate out of my lips. However, I feel like it did look a little messy around the lips as it wore on, and that, although it wasn't true bleeding or feathering, it's kind of on the verge of feathering. And I personally just like to keep things a little bit neater. So I would use a lip pencil, at least around your lip line with this one. You could use a clear lip pencil if you're interested. I know several brands have clear ones that are used specifically for this purpose. I have one from Chantecaille. I think it's called like Lip Keep, but it's just a clear lip pencil that works, or match the shade like I did right now. My overall thoughts on this formula so far are that I really like it. I think it is very, very comfortable to wear on the lips. And I'm very happy to say that the grittiness that I felt upon application, I don't feel it now, but my lips still remain very creamy, and it's comfortable. I love the glow and the shine. For the particular formulas, I guess I'm not as keen on the coral shade. I like the actual color of it, but I prefer it to not be quite so much of an opaque cream. I prefer it to be a little bit more sheer, and that's just a personal preference, but I think the formula itself is very nice. So that's this one here. I love this one that I'm wearing now. I really love the Fog one. I haven't worn this one yet, but I definitely can see myself wearing it. Actually, I know I'll wear all of these shades, so I'm happy with all of them, but my favorites tend to be the reds with this particular formulation. Just a note, since masks are on everybody's minds and mouths these days, these are not mask proof. They are a long wearing formula, meaning you will still have color remaining, but these are not transfer proof. So if you are wearing a mask that kind of presses against your lips, you could very well end up with smearing of the product and so forth. So just wanted to make sure you are aware that these are definitely not a transfer proof. Oh, and excuse my nails, sorry. I just painted them, but I haven't had a chance to clean them up yet. I kind of forgot. So they are a little messy. That sums up my thoughts on these new items from Suqqu. And again, I will have upcoming reviews of the concealer and the blush that I picked up. I really want to compare the blush to the cheek palette, so look for those in the future. But I have to say, I really am enjoying these liquid lipsticks, and again, I'm gravitating towards the reds in these, but this 02 Glow shade is my favorite. I just love this color. I think it's the perfect red. So let me know what you guys think of these, if you plan on picking any up or if you already have, and I hope to see you in my next video. So thank you so much for watching me. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. And be sure to let me know what you thought of up-close lip swatches. Are those an added benefit or just not really necessary? So I'd love to get some feedback on that. and I will see you soon. So have a great day, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you soon.